Alrighty, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94. Every live action Spider Man movie ranked. This should be interesting. This is by the homie Maverick. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel, the likes of the views of the comments, subscribers up, all that good stuff over there on his channel. And without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? Every live action Spider-Man movie rank. Okay, let's be real, bro. Nothing's gonna top the Sam Raimi. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is top tier. I don't care what anybody say. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man top tier. The other two Spider-Mans, y'all can rank them how you want to rank them, but Tobey Maguire Spider-Man top tier, hands down. S tier. I don't care.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mav, bringing you back to every live action Spider-Man movie ranked. Every live action Spider-Man movie ranked. We're gonna go in order of tier lists. You know what I'm saying? This is the live action rankings for the movies.
Hold on real quick. Hold on. All right.
So therefore, I only got one rule: no Spider-Verse, no animated films. We sticking straight to only to live action. Okay? I will, which means all the movies that came out from '02 to now. That's what I'm putting out. Another rule: if Spider-Man is not the central character, they will not be on this list because they all deserve their own separate list. So no Civil War, Captain America Civil War, no Avengers Infinity War, no Avengers Endgame. Those can go on their own little list, okay? Those can go on their own little list because those aren't necessarily Spider-Man movies. Okay? So are we clear on that? All right, let's get it going. I'm gonna do it a little different than what I usually do these tier list ranking videos, because the Spider-Man movie franchise has been so amazing throughout the years, pun intended. I thought I would just reverse it from instead of going from S to F, greatest to least, we're gonna go least to greatest, just to get all the trash out the way. Because I love the upper movies so much that I'm probably going to talk about them for what seems like more over than not. Okay. Alrighty. Without further ado, let's go ahead and slide on to the F tier, shall we? Garbage tier, which means you gotta throw the whole movie away. Just throw it away. Don't even bother. Like hardly even going back to it. And then there's really only like one movie that belongs on here, and that's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm gonna have y'all know, I'm not the biggest Andrew Garfield stan. I am not the biggest Andrew Garfield stan. Okay. If there's anything I do like about the Andrew Garfield movies is that they keep it more true to the comics that he actually has web shooters instead of organic webbing, like how they had in the Raimi trilogy. But the problem is, and this is a recurring thing in the Garfield movies, the Spider-Sense only shows up when it wants to. Like only in like a select number of few scenes. It isn't as frequent. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. And despite all this, man, the plot was so predictable, it was ass. Like, I could tell, coming from the trailer, that Gwen Stacy was gonna freaking die. Because it's the same way she died in the comics. Falling off a car drive, the Green Goblin pushed her off of there. Trash. How Green Goblin was presented to us. Blood ugly. Horrible. Felt rushed. You know what I'm saying? This, and like, the worst part of this is that they teased the Rhino and the Scorpion. And we never got anything to show for it at all. Trash. Horrible. The only saving grace of this movie, oh yeah, I forgot. Peter broke his promise to Gwen Stacy's daddy, but, you know, he looked not shit for that. The only saving grace of this movie is Jamie Foxx's stellar acting, despite Electro being pretty limited as a villain due to the crappy writing of this movie. For the crappy writing, Jamie Foxx did deliver. Other than that, this movie's not all that worth going back to. Going into the D tier, which is below mid, meaning it's not very good. We're going to the first of the Garfield saga, Amazing Spider-Man 1. Now, I'm gonna just say this. This movie, you know, the action set pieces were decent and all that, but the problem is that, you know, the lizard just felt so ugly. Like, when I first looked at him, I'm like, is this the lizard or a Komodo dragon I'm looking at? Like, this doesn't look like no big lizard like on the in the comic books. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did they do to the lizard? Like, I felt like, you know, we should have had initial Sonic the Hedgehog 1 movie energy towards the lizard. Like, this lizard looks like shit. Please send him back. Just like what we did with the Sonic movies. But when Sonic first came out, you know, as a teaser trailer, we don't like how this looks. Please send him back. Why didn't we send the lizard back? Why? And then, you know, how the lizard went down, it wasn't all that satisfying. And then I never got how Captain Stacy had to die. You know what I'm saying? Toward the end of the, I never got that decision. Like, that was unnecessary. And then, you know, as I've said about Garfield's portrayal in times past in previous discussions with other Spider-Man fans like myself and others, sorry, I was itching on my face. I had eczema. I have eczema, so sometimes when I'm hot, I start to itch in certain places on my face, so I'm tapping my face. I'm not slapping myself. But when I would have discussions over the table over who was the best actor for Spider-Man in live action, I will point out or rule out automatically Garfield because, you know, Garfield doesn't make a good Peter Parker at all. He doesn't balance, you know, Peter Parker and Spider-Man very good at all. It doesn't. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't come off to me as geeky enough to be Peter. And then, like, wasn't there just this one scene where Peter just steals a whole guy's identity just to get into Kirk Connors' lab? I'm like, the little Peter Parker wouldn't lower himself to that, would he? Ugh. And then Flash Thompson, you know what I'm saying? I would give the movie this. Flash Thompson, Uncle Ben, I made they were portrayed right. And I do like how they present to us what Peter's parents were like before sending him as a boy to go live with Aunt May and Uncle Ben. I'll give that movie that much credit, but other than that, this movie's not very good. Going into the mid tier, which is hit or miss. Hit or miss. Oh, yeah. I also dislike the Garfield ones because they weren't all that funny in comparison to these other movies. But going into the mid tier, I put Spider-Man Homecoming in here. Primarily because, you know, most Genesis movies, like when you know you're getting a trilogy out of them, the first one doesn't necessarily hit the hardest in comparison to what will release afterward. You know, watching all.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with this one. I feel like the first Spider-Man. I feel like the first Spider-Man, it was too much reliance on Tony Stark. I didn't like that. Like, Spider-Man is his own entity. He doesn't like really associate himself with other superheroes. Understand they want to keep him in the Marvel universe because, you know, marketing, toys, you know what I'm saying? You got to make the big bucks. You got to make the big bucks somehow, right? I understand that, but at the same time, when you have Spider-Man relying on Tony Stark and his inventions for his suit, like, we're relying on the suit instead of Spider-Man himself. It took so much away from Spider-Man. Like, this ain't the Spider-Man that I grew up with, which is why I say Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is the best one. I don't care. Fight me. Fight me. Put him up. Come on, put him up. Put him up. But yeah, it was too much reliance on Tony Parker. He was relying too much on the suits. And I'm sitting up here like, why is the suit mean more than Spider-Man and his powers? Spider-Man powers alone make Spider-Man great. He doesn't need the suit, really. The suit, the technology in the suit, it takes away from Spider-Man and everything that makes Spider-Man great. That's why I really hated this one. Right out the gate, I hated this one. I was like, oh, we doing it again. This was terrible. And everybody was on the internet dick riding and shit, talking about, so it was good, it was amazing. Yo, Marvel just knocking it off the park. No, this shit was trash, bro. Shit was garbage, bro. I'm sorry.
Hear me and hear me good, nigga. I'm here to double down. That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
All three of them in retrospect and comparing them all, this is definitely the worst out of the not Garfield, I'm sorry, because Garfield never got a third movie, even though they teased it with their dumbasses. This is the worst out of the Tom Holland saga. You know what I'm saying? This is the worst of Tom Holland. Not saying it's a bad movie, but in comparison to what will come after, it doesn't measure up. Humor is lighthearted, kind of cheeky, so nothing too much to write home about there. You know, the only thing that was consistently funny was Zendaya and her scenes of being deadpan, and then Ned was kind of funny here and there too. You know, I'm gonna talk about some of the great in this movie. I do like the relationship between Tony and Peter in here, and seeing it develop and thrive and all that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's that. I also do like the villain in this movie being played by Michael Keaton, Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture. The Vulture was very well executed, and the plot twist of him being Peter's love interest in this movie's father was stunning. And that speech he gave to him in the car about him figuring out who he was, like he knew he was Spider-Man, bro. Like that's A1 writing right there. I can't even lie. That's good at writing. And well, I mean, Liz for a love interest played by Laura Harrier, she was definitely eye-catching enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Considering she's a black woman. Like, hold on. Let me do something real quick. I'm gonna slide a tab over here. Let me show y'all who I'm talking about. Hold on. I didn't put it in this presentation, but look at her. Hold on. Let me put her in the photo. Bam! Y'all see her? Look, you can't hate Peter for his taste. I would be, asking about the homecoming too if I was Peter too. But yeah, man, the Friday AI scene was probably one of the lowest points in the movie for me because, like Peter spent. I mean, I guess it was important for him to get to know his spider suit that Tony gave him, but the fact that he spent all that time in there without even figuring a way to escape, like, you're giving the bad guys time to get away with shit. But yeah, man. And considering that, I think this movie is precedes the No. It's not this movie. It's the next one that precedes the Infinity War and Endgame. So yeah, there's that. We're not gonna talk about that one. We still on this one. Other than that, if there's anything else I would like for this movie to be better is that, like, him having the suit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of his AI giving him spider sense, like, I felt like the spider sense should have been a natural ability. But other than that, this movie was hit or miss. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. Flash Thompson is a total bitch in this movie. I hated him so much because he was so weak compared to past iterations of Flash Thompson. You know what I'm saying? He was, man, pitiful. And then Aunt May was portrayed by Marissa Tomei, and I get it. At this point in her career, she's definitely old enough to qualify for such a role, but she's still way too attractive to be Aunt May. When you think of Aunt May, you think of a sweet old woman like Rosemary Harris. You don't think of hot women like Marissa Tomei. What? I'll rest my case. But yeah, man, I'll still go back to this one from time to time, primarily because I want to gawk at Laura Harrier. Anyway, let me stop. Going to the beat here. This is where it gets good, y'all. This is real good.
He's a freaky ass nigga.
We watch Hardy. Unpopular opinion, but Far From Home is definitely better than Homecoming. I'm gonna say it. Far From Home is definitely better than Homecoming. And the reason why is that this one took place like after the war and after the Infinity War and after the doggone Endgame movie, where Tony pretty much inherited. Tony pretty much gave Peter his the glasses that had Friday on them as a lending of a gift. And he's going up against Mysterio, and then he gives the glass to Mysterio by mistake, not knowing that Mysterio was as bad as the guy. And then, like, before Mysterio dies in the post-credit scene, he like leaks who his true identity is to the rest of the world through a Daily Bugle. I'm like, you couldn't write no better than this for him to have a dilemma. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. What else? I did like the portrayal of MJ as his new love interest because it felt organic, you know what I'm saying, in some sort of way. Even though, like, he initially never had a thing for her in the previous movie, you know what I'm saying. Some people might say that was a down point, but since Liz switched schools, Peter had to move to the next best thing, you know what I'm saying. And this would be the beginning of the eventual real life relationship between Thomas and Zendaya. Ned was being Ned in this movie. Him and his, so-called fiance, so-called girlfriend, XYZ. You know what I'm saying? You could ignore it. All you want. You could, and still be able to enjoy this movie because I didn't find them all that hilarious. You know what I'm saying? When I rewatched it, at first time when I watched it, I thought it was something to just snort at. But when I watched it again, I'm like, this ain't really all that funny. This ain't really all that funny. But yeah, man. Mysterio was amazing. Peter's action scenes, especially when he's trying to stop Mysterio from effing over. I think they were in Rome. I think. Here, let me look it up. I think they were in Rome or somewhere in Europe on a field trip, which was great for plot. Spider-Man 4. Where did it take place?
Paris.
There we go. Let me see. Venice. They were in Venice. I thought they were in Rome. Right country, wrong city. But they were in Venice, Italy. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, not Friday. The guy's called Edith. Yeah. And then he also sent the same elemental illusions to attack Prague too. And then, like, Peter is also, posing as the black spider monkey. You know what I'm saying? While, trying to convince Zendaya that he's He is not Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was a great plot. You know what I'm saying? Because MJ was able to kind of piece it together, despite Peter never having to directly tell her that he was Spider-Man. And Peter kept trying to cover it up in front of her, but she knew because she had feelings for him back, and it didn't really get confirmed until later on in the movie. Now, let me think. Another great part in the movie is when Peter, you know what I'm saying, eventually figured out, you know, where he was supposed to, you know, be on Mysterio, but he has him go through all these illusions, you know what I'm saying, of him, like, back in, when they were, like, hold on, let me go back. I think that's when, he was trying to use Edith to try to trick him, and then, like, while he was tricking him, you know what I'm saying, Mysterio was trying to kill Ned and MJ, but Peter ends up fighting through his illusion, and then Beck, you know what I'm saying, ends up getting hit by one of his own drones. I thought that was a great scene. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, once Peter was able to figure out the weakness of the illusions, and once he was able to do that and fight through to get to Mysterio, that was a great conclusion. And it would be and the post credits was a perfect lead up to what we would get in the next movie. But anyway, let me stop talking about this one. I talked about this way too much. But I told y'all, B tier and upward, it's gonna get good. Spider-Man 3 is also B tier, not C tier, not D tier, like most of you idiots out there want to say that it is. It's not any one of those. No, it is solid, extra solid. Reason why? You got so much conclusion. You got an epic conclusion to arguably one of the greatest trilogies of all time. Peter finally finds out who actually killed Uncle Ben, and he finds out that Sandman killed him on accident, and why Sandman was out there robbing and stuff for his daughters to get an operation. Then you finally close this chapter of the beef Harry had with him because he thought Spider-Man killed his dad, when really it was his dad killing his dad, based on what the butler said. Another conclusion, you finally get to see, you know what I'm saying, Parker with the suit, with the symbiote suit, and try to wrestle it off, and how it landed onto Eddie Brock, which did feel rushed, I admit, because I felt like Parker didn't have him long enough to not only develop with the suit and fight in the suit. Like, he only fought like one time in the suit against Sandman and ended up beating him out, which, you know, exposed his weakness to water, which was amazing, by the way. Sandman low-key immortal. But I digress. The fact that Venom was so vengeful, and then his beef with Harry, you know what I'm saying, getting caught in the midst of that, and Mary Jane doing Mary Jane things, you know what I'm saying, dropping guys, picking up guys, etc., and all of that good stuff, man. This movie is epic and memeable. Even the scenes where Peter is definitely, you know, under the influence by the symbiote, and he starts to, you know, have his aggression and his confidence raised, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's got the Russian shorty and her dad respecting him despite him pushing him over for rent. Like he was like, I'll give you rent if you fix this goddamn door. And then, you know, Russian dude that was begging for rent was like, he's a good man. And then, like, her daughter handed him some cookies. He's like, how about you give me some milk? And he was on the phone with J. Jonah Jameson. And then he was like, hey, you got macadamia enough for these? And he's on the phone with Kirk Connors. He's like, and Kirk Connors is trying to warn him not to let the symbiote influence him so hard. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you also get that epic scene of him going in a black new suit and just dancing. And then he raised up Gwen Stacy, not once, but twice. One time when he was without the suit on that stage, giving her that kiss. And the other time when he went out, took her out to the jazz club that Mary Jane sung at, and to spite her for leaving him for Harry. You know what I'm saying? Gwen eventually figured it out. Unpopular opinion, if you ask me, Peter should have ended up with Gwen, and if not Gwen, the Russian girl from across the hall from him. That's who she ended with. I agree with the memes, but apart from that, this movie was solid, bro. And Harry dying was kind of, you know, the final nail in the coffin for this for the trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Not Peter and MJ embracing. You know what I mean? I think low-key that's what brought Peter and MJ back together. You know, Harry manipulating the diner, realizing that, you know, him, you know, Peter being his friend. You know what I'm saying? Didn't mean for his father to die the way he died. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what y'all hate to think. Spider-Man 3 was a good movie. Anyway, moving on. A tier. Damn good, but not a classic. Actually, I'm gonna rephrase this. It's borderline. This movie is borderline classic. The very first Spider-Man in the Raimi trilogy. They did everything right. The only thing they got wrong is the organic webbing, because that's not comics. But they got everything right, except for just that and you know what I'm saying, Mary Jane going from Flash to Harry to Peter, and then ending up with nobody. In fact, the end of this movie actually gave a very great hint that MJ had an idea that Peter was Spider-Man, but didn't like officially grasp it until the sequel. Because remember, she touched her lips after her and Peter kissed, and then Peter just was going on about his business after he rejected her, knowing that he can't be with her if he's gonna be Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Despite him always wanting to be, you know, MJ's man, his duty as Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying, precedes over everything. J. Jonah Jameson was hilarious, especially when he gets Peter forward. He's like, crap. Give you $200 for him. No, $300. Anyway, let me stop. And then Peter introducing himself to his secretary. He's like, I'm Peter Parker. I'm a photographer. And she's just ignoring him, seeing him as nothing more than a nuisance. Anyway, what else I like is that I love how, like, they got right how the spider bites him too when he least expected it on the field trip. That was in relation to the comics, and how he took the inspiration of the colors of his suit from that spider. And, you know, Norman being, you know, a power-hungry businessman, and, you know what I'm saying, selling his ideal of weapons to the military and all that, and how that relationship fell through, and how, you know, his board members were trying to, you know what I'm saying, sell the company underneath his nose, and him going crazy because he was infected with the goblin juice, and he killed the doctor that helped him, give him the goblin poop juice that gave him his powers. You know what I'm saying? Willem Dafoe's Goblin can never get better. Can never get better, bro. I'm just dead ass serious. Never do that. There's no better Green Goblin than Willem Dafoe. I'ma stand on it, and I'm stand on it, and I'm going die on that hill. James Franco wishes he could be that Goblin, but he can't be that Goblin. And the other dude in Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, he wishes he could be the Goblin, but he can't be no Goblin. He can't be no Goblin. Anyway, moving forward. I do like a lot of the saving scenes, especially the last during the conclusion of the movie where Green Goblin holds Mary Jane and a fairy with a bunch of kids, and then he drops them both, and then he swings around and he tries to catch Mary Jane, and then try to catch the cable with the fairy with the kids on it, and then the ship is coming underneath them, and then the ship that's riding the ocean full of fishers is coming underneath them, you know what I'm saying, trying to save them both, and then he's trying to tell Mary Jane, I need you to get down, I can't, I need you to get down, trust me, you know what I'm saying, and Mary Jane just, you know, for the life of her want to get down, and then eventually Spidey gets hit, forcing Mary Jane to grab the end of the ferry, but thankfully they both get saved, leaving Peter and Norman to get out in the graveyard to throw hands, you know what I'm saying, going in the back, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth. Even that fight scene during the little party when you know, Spidey outsmarted Green Goblin and made his glider malfunction, when he'll say, we'll be together, Spider-Man. Like, even the part where he scared Mary Jane, he was like, hello, my dear. Classic. Aunt May was also amazing in this movie. Peter chasing down the person who we thought shot Uncle Ben was a great scene as well, especially after the amazing cameo by the late great Macho Man Randy Savage as Bonesaw McGraw. Bonesaw is ready. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, man, this is iconic. This whole movie is iconic, man. I love this movie, but not as much as I love these other two. Because coming in the S tier, which are certified classics, Spider-Man No Way Home is a certified classic for one reason and one reason only. And I've been promoting this agenda ever since I could walk, proving to all of you Holland heads and all of you Garfield heads, whole to you, that Tobey Maguire is the greatest actor to portray Spider-Man of all time. All time.
Who needed to be told that? Nobody never needed to be told that. Everybody knows that Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man. It's not up for debate. It's a well-known fact.
And you can't say I'm BSing. You can't say I'm BSing. He was a lot more nerdier, a lot more older, a lot more seasoned. You know what I'm saying? Still had the organic weapon. Him and Tom Holland was doing a great majority of all the fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. They had to go against all the villains. The Lizard, Electro, Doc Ock from the second movie, Green Goblin from the first, despite him not having a suit, but he still had his glider because of the system. They all three of them ended the antidote to the Goblin virus, you know what I'm saying? Because the Goblin was control all the villains, you know what I'm saying? This movie was freaking con. However, this movie came at a great big cost at the end of it. Doctor Strange cast a spell, making everybody forget who Peter Parker is. making everybody forget, because the beginning of the movie made people, everybody knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man thanks to the leaked footage of a dying Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio. But when Ned, who all of a sudden has these spellcasting powers, wanted to find Peter, who was I think was out missing. I forgot who he was going up against, but I think he was getting beat by somebody. I don't know. But when MJ and Ned wanted to find Peter, the other two Peters showed up. So much so that they almost dinner fought each other and broke I think it was Ned grandma's house. Yeah. Stuff was awesome. This was awesome. And then like Daredevil made a cameo appearance in this movie, which was awesome, you know, because everybody was like, you know what I'm saying, trying to kill Peter, was trying to crucify Peter for, you know what I'm saying, killing innocent Mysterio, but Mysterio wasn't innocent. You know what I'm saying? So, let me see. Are they Yup. Ooh, the Sandman, or I forgot the Sandman was in this movie. Well, oh yeah, and the scene where Aunt May dies, and the scene where Peter is like battling with himself to like pick on everybody else alone, while the other two Spider-Man, you know, try to slow him down before he does anything irrational, and they try to uplift him after his Aunt May dies. S tier worthy writing, bro. Like if you're gonna blend the multiverses, make them all help each other. You heard me? Let me see. I think he was going up against. Yeah, he was going against all his villains, and then he ended up getting beat. So that's when Ned did the spell and got the other two Spider-Men. So, and like Peter was in the Sanctorum with all his villains in Doctor Strange. So there's the Peter 2 and Peter 3 that they call each other. So yeah. With that being said, how this movie ended was kind of bittersweet, because we got a fulfilling conclusion to the Tom Holland saga, and you know, MJ and Ned going to what their lives would be without Spider-Man was also a great answer. You know what I'm saying, to the big what if, like what if these two didn't know Peter was Spider-Man any longer. So that, and I also do like the fact that Goblin was stopped, and you know, Doc Ock was redeemed, because remember in Spider-Man 2 it was his arms that was controlling him, not the other way around, because the chip got fried. Which brings me to the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time, and that's Spider-Man 2. Everything that you could, everything you could want in a Spider-Man movie, this has it. Action, glitz, tinsel, special effects, emotional scenes, you know, character development, you know what I'm saying, humor, anything you could ever look for. Spider-Man 2's got it. I'm serious. Spider-Man 2 got it. You know what I'm saying? Everything from, you know what I'm saying, J. Jonah Jameson laughing at Peter to get a raise, and let me see. And everything from J. Jonah Jameson taking the suit from Robbie, his editor, who calls him, who found it out of the can. You know what I'm saying? And then he's putting on the suit and shooting, pretending like he's shooting webs. And then, like, for a moment, we get a moment where J. Jonah Jameson starts to actually respect Spider-Man. And then Peter gets the suit back, and then he goes back to calling him a criminal. Classic stuff right there. And then, you know, Mary Jane doing Mary Jane things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kissing John Jameson upside down. After ditching Peter and Harry. You know what I'm saying? After ditching Peter. Mary Jane was written terrible in this trilogy, now that I think about it. But yeah, man, I even like the relationship Peter develops with Doc Ock here, because both of them are nerdy. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about Peter being portrayed by, you know, Tobey Maguire. I almost said Tom Holland by mistake. Tobey Maguire, you know, actually brings balance to both the Spider and Peter Parker characters. Tom, great Peter Parker, not a great Spider-Man. Andrew, great Spider-Man, not a great Peter Parker. Tobey, great at balancing both. You know what I'm saying? In fact, one of the greatest lines in the trilogy is when Doc Ock is throwing the bag of money at him. He's like, "Here's your change," while he's trying to rob the bank, while trying to save Aunt May and stuff, and everybody else in that bank building. I like that. And even the train scene where Doc Ock, you know what I'm saying, him are fighting on the train, and then Peter has to use all his strength to get the train to stop. And then he was worn out with all his webs, and everybody from New York City is sticking up for him, just like they did in the previous movie when he was saving the kids and MJ. New York City citizens was just throwing a whole bunch of garbage at Green Goblin, you know what I'm saying? And all the New York City citizens, you know, stepped up to Doc Ock. He was like, "You want to get the Spider-Man? You want to go through me first." And then with ease, he's like, "Very well," and then puts his tentacles all the way back and pushes everybody out of the way and smash Peter and told him, "You want your lady? Be at this place at this time." And then like he takes Peter Parker, you know, to Harry after he pretty much snuffs him. You know what I'm saying? And Harry's like, "It's you that killed my dad? It was you, Peter?" "No." And then he's like, "Look, where is Mary Jane? Where is she?" And then he was like, "You killed my father, Peter." He was like, "That's the last thing we need to worry about right now. Where is Mary Jane?" And then Harry finally relents and tells him where he's at. And then the scene where Doc Ock finally gets some sort of control over his arms instead of arms controlling him. You know what I'm saying? And sacrifices himself to pretty much destroy the fusion reactor. And then Spider-Man holding up the wall, Peter holding up the wall while MJ is looking at him and saying, and MJ's like, "You really do love me." And then he was like, "Now you understand." He was pretty much letting her know like that. Now you understand. This is why we can't be together, type shit. You know what I'm saying? And then he like, you know, mercifully hands him back to John Jameson. And MJ does the most streetwalker ass shit ever and stood John Jameson at the altar to go kiss Peter to end the movie. Oh man. But you kind of got to feel for Doc Ock though. You kind of got to feel for Doc Ock because Doc Ock lost his wife due to the shards of glass, due to this fusion reactor going out of control, and the inhibitor chip on his arms breaking, leading his arms to pretty much control his neural waves to his brain, thus giving his arms mind control. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, amazing movie from start to finish. Even like Peter getting fired by the pizza place earlier because, you know what I'm saying, his duties as Spider-Man is taking priority. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't ask for better writing. You couldn't ask for better writing. That boss dude was funny. He was like, "You're fired." And then like he stepped toward him after Peter begged him for no chance. He stepped toward Peter and he took his sign and said, took the sign out of that. He's like, "You let him keep the helmet, let him keep the bike," but he took the sign out. I'm like, well, at least he let him keep all that. Shoot, I even like I think Joy Bryant makes a cameo appearance as one of the citizens in the movie that is watching Spider-Man go forth. You know what I'm saying, and do his hero thing, and you know what I mean. There's even a montage of Peter abandoning his life as Spider-Man because that was the biggest part of the plot. Peter deciding, you know, is being Spider-Man worth my own personal life? You know what I'm saying? Is being Spider-Man worth risking a future relationship with MJ, risking me jobs, risking me help, risking me, you know, risking my powers and risking my college attendance and career and all that? That was a very, very big plot point that they never brought up again, and it was perfect for this movie alone. You know what I'm saying? Based on the subtle fact that Peter eventually realizes that being Spider-Man is more important because of what his uncle initially told him. If you don't believe me on how well Raimi and the rest of this team pulled off this whole entire trilogy and all that, man, if you don't believe me, just watch this movie again by yourself. Okay? But yeah, man, that's, without further ado, man, you know what I'm saying, I done spent almost, you know what I'm saying, close to 3/4 of an hour on this, man. But yeah, we're gonna go review this. I'm gonna go review this one time. Let's go back over. Garbage tier, Amazing Spider-Man 2. D tier, Amazing Spider-Man 1. C tier, Spider-Man Homecoming. B tier, Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man 3. A tier, the very first Spider-Man movie. S tier, Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man 2. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know whenever I upload. And I'll see you all next.
Alrighty, that's just gonna about do it for this one. Most definitely, man. Most definitely. Hey, man. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is the best one. It's not even up for debate. No flaws. No flaws in the character. Like Maverick said, perfectly balanced. Another thing too, didn't have to depend on fucking another superhero to help him out. Spider-Man did it all on his own. No help. Stopped the whole damn train by himself, no help. Defeated Green Goblin by himself. Took on Doc Ock by himself. Had to deal with Harry and all that bullshit by himself. Don't tell me Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man ain't the best one. But yeah, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video. Till then, peace out.